Everyone, Jaymes Mansfield here bringing you yet another video. Oh my god, you guys, it's been a minute since I did a makeup video, so we are gonna try out some Kim Chi Chic makeup, as well as talk about LGBT cinema. That's what's on the docket today. So, get ready. I'm gonna glue down my eyebrows and we're gonna go over some of these new cute kimchi products. Yes! Alright, we are back. Alright, I am back and it's me, the Toxic Avenger. Yes, this big old mask covered my brows. So I'm just gonna get started. And I wanted to talk about today some queer cinema. Yes, yes, yes. I'm using right now actually Kim Chi Chic's Moist Concealer. It's the color corrector in orange. It's really interesting how far back queer cinema actually goes. Now, bear in mind, like the early days, we had, you know, queer coded villains. It's kind of like Disney villains, how like they seem pretty gay because they're coded that way, but none of them actually are. I want to jump ahead to basically when queer cinema was actually starting to get its own like legs. We started to get stories and narratives that centered around people of the LGBT community, which did not happen until upwards about like the 70s. The 60s, a little bit. You got like, you know, hairdressers who, you know, obviously were, but they never outright said it. But in the 70s, we had full-on queer cinema. The likes of John Waters' films, who I talked about in my last makeup video, so I'm not gonna go too deep into that. And his movies never really centered around like queer characters. Some characters were queer, but they were never really like the stars of the vehicle. One of the first ones I can think of that always like springs to mind is The Boys in the Band. This was based on a play by Mark Crowley, and it's about a group of gay guys who have a house party in New York and things just go awry. The main person who's hosting it has a friend from college who doesn't know that he's gay and is basically just gonna invite him coldly to his house. And the whole time that he's there, he seems like very out of touch with everything and very cold and very uncomfortable with his surroundings. And you're led to believe that these two had once fooled around with each other and this person may be closeted. You never get those answers, and he basically ruins his whole party, you know, making his guests uncomfortable. A lot more happens in that, but you have to watch the movie. It's actually really, really good. Some great acting in that, and actually spawned a character you would see in a lot of queer cinema, the Emery character. The very, very swishy, stereotypical homosexual character that almost every movie that features a gay character has ripped this character off. I guarantee you, if you watch The Boys in the Band, pay attention to the character Emery the next time you see a queer-coded character pop up in cinema. And he's very swishy, very feminine, he usually has a very thick lisp. Emery is the one they're basing it off of. And what was interesting about that is like most of the time when people are inspired by it, they kind of miss the whole point of his character. Because yeah, he's very femme, he's very, very gay, but there is a richness and a deepness to his character and why he is the way he is that they really dig into. That's really, really fascinating. And his relationship with another character in the film is very, very interesting. Back to what I was discussing. Yeah, The Boys in the Band. Fabulous, fabulous film. You should definitely check it out. Lots of archetypal gay characters in that you'll see in lots of queer cinema today. Some things are just great, you know, they never age. They always work in a context of a film or play. There was also the adult version of the film called The Boys in the Sand, which I've never seen. I've only heard the legends of the Wakefield Pool epic. I think it was just, you know, in the title is where they got the inspiration, and the rest is just, you know, a bunch of naked boys on the beach frolicking. But it was critically acclaimed. It has Casey Donovan in it, and he is gorgeous. All right, let's start our eyes. No, I gotta set that. What am I doing? I talked a little bit about Outrageous in the last film with Craig Russell, but that's actually really, really a great movie. Oh my god. Inspired by the Butterfly Ward, it's a story in that. Loosely inspired by Craig Russell's life and struggling as a drag queen in Canada in the 1960s through the 1970s. And basically like tells the story of how he climbed the ladder to be, you know, a successful drag queen from competing in an amateur contest as Tallulah Bankhead. And his Tallulah Bankhead is out of this world. It is by far the funniest one. Even funnier than Charles Pierce's. You get to see his amazing impersonations of Mae West. His Carol Channing sounds just like her. And his Judy Garland, which isn't the best, but you know, she was in his wheelhouse. He had her available if you wanted her. Honestly, the best Judy Garland had to be Jim Bailey. Hands down. Sorry, Renee Zellweger. All right, let's dig into this palette. Kim Chi and Naomi Smalls. The Kim Chi X Naomi Smalls 2 Queens in 1 Desert vegan-friendly makeup palette. Oh, all right. Attack me, why don't you? Look how pretty they are. And there's no mirror, so I actually can show you. This is, oh, that's interesting. Okay, all the wording is on this side going that way. Okay. Well, these are some fun colors. I think I'm gonna do something inspired by Kim's makeup today. Let's do something big. That'd be fun. Yeah, I totally came into this video with an idea. I wasn't just gonna rip off Kim Chi's makeup that was on the palette. Anyways, Outrageous actually had a sequel to Outrageous, if you can believe that. I've never seen it, and very few have seen it because it's been out of print for decades. Yes, I don't even think the people that originally filmed it have a print anymore. It's just lost to the sands of time, which is a shame because Jaymes is in it and probably like the best quality footage you'll ever see of him as Marilyn. There's bits and pieces on YouTube here and there, but I'm pretty sure that movie is gone. And let's see, that's drag queen cinema. As far as queer cinema goes, another standout in my mind would have to be like exploitation films. There were things like The Pink Angels, which was a exploitation film about drag queen bikers. And one thing I can say is it's definitely an exploitation film, that's for sure. It is complete garbage. Not worth your time, although I will say the ending of that film is up. So if you can stomach that film just to get to the ending, I don't recommend you seek it out. But if you're really like deadly curious, that's, I guess, you know, a pretty different way to end your film. Let's add some color. Going in with Yucca. All right, I'm using I'm Not Yoking right here, the yellow. Put a little bit up here. Now, with exploitation films, it is exactly what you're getting. You're getting exploitative cinema, and generally the, you know, subject matter is pretty friggin' terrible. One of the few like LGBT themed movies I can think of that featured like, you know, a storyline about that was Norman Is That You? That was a blaxploitation film back in the 1970s that starred Red Fox in one of his debut films as a solo lead in a major cinematic movie. And he played basically a father who goes back to San Francisco where his son lives after getting a divorce from his wife, Pearl Bailey. And he comes to find that his son has been living with this gay guy and they're apparently lovers. And Red Fox is thrown for a loop trying to figure out how to deal with the fact that his marriage is falling apart and his son now is gay or bisexual. You know, it makes sense if you watch the movie. No, it's supposed to be a very poignant film and Red Fox really, really wanted to do it. Unfortunately, things happened. The studio got a hold of stuff. Storylines from the play that was based on were changed, and one thing led to another, and the movie makes very little sense. So that was one of the things we had, I guess. Madam was in it. Waylon Flowers and Madam was in it. So that was also a pretty cool thing that we look back on. The only film Madam was ever in. Then we move on to the end of the 70s, and probably the most controversial exploitation film made by a studio about queer life would have to be Cruising. That starred Al Pacino, maybe Robert De Niro. I always get those two confused. They're both in The Godfather, one of those guys, the dark-haired dude. Old Boy was in that movie, and basically he played a guy who goes undercover in the gay bar scene trying to catch a serial killer who is murdering gay men. And again, I saw this movie so long ago, but it had such a controversial reputation surrounding it. If any of you who are old enough to have seen it and seen the controversy when it happened, let me know how it was. Like, what was that all about? Because I'm intrigued. I haven't revisited that film in a long, long time, and to be honest, I watched that when I was like 18, so my attention span was just not there for that kind of movie. I was more concerned with stuff that was like spangly and sparkly. It was not gonna hold my young 18 gay mind at all. The 1980s had a lot of queer cinema happening in it. Lots of queer characters started to pop up. I remember the film Only When I Laugh with James Coco. He played the gay best friend of Christy McNichol's mother, whose name I forget, but she was like a down and out actress, and he was her gay bestie, and he had the best lines in the whole film. I made hair for this look, and now I'm concerned that the makeup's gonna be too big to fit it. So we're gonna have to work around this. The 1980s, like I said, is jam-packed with tons of gay characters in television and film, but some of the big standouts in my mind, like one of the biggest has to be Torch Song Trilogy. Shout out to Movie Bitches, I just covered that film with them on their channel, but girl, that movie was prolific. Honestly, it transcends so much. I even have a movie review of that one on this channel from a long time ago. It's one of my favorite films, honestly, it's so good. It is based on a play by Harvey Fierstein, which is like 8 hours long. Not lying, it is a long ass play. And it just basically goes through the lifetime of his character Arnold as a performing drag queen in New York City, and basically his relationship with his mother, his boyfriends, his friends, and just trying to survive. The one thing they didn't really touch upon in the play was the AIDS crisis happening at the same time. But again, it wasn't necessarily what the story was about. But the AIDS crisis would actually lead to lots and lots of films, lots of TV movies about the subject. Longtime Companion is one that stands out in my mind, which leads us into the 1990s. You had movies like It's My Party, which is basically a gay guy having all his friends over to celebrate his one last birthday before he inevitably passes away. That had a big star-studded cast in it too, like the likes of Margaret Cho were in that, lots of celebrities. Then you move into the queer films of the 90s, which is really great. Oh my god, these are the ones I actually remember because I was there for it. And some of the ones I remember watching as a child when I probably shouldn't have with my mother because she just didn't care what you put on. I remember seeing To Wong Foo on a sofa with my mother, eating popcorn. It was on a Sunday on like TNT or something. To Wong Foo, Thanks for Everything, Julie Newmar is epic. It's not a great movie. I will say that right now. It is not a good movie by any means of the words, but boy is it charming. By no means an original movie. It is very well documented that it went into production right around the same time as Priscilla, Queen of the Desert, an Australian film about drag queens on the road and facing adversity. And it's never really been proven which one came first or who inspired who. Just a coincidence that both of these road trip drag queen movies happened to go into production around the same time. But To Wong Foo starred Patrick Swayze, Wesley Snipes, and John Leguizamo, who were major movie stars at that time. Huge action stars. And the fact that they took these roles were really kind of a risk at that time. People really raised an eyebrow at them because even in that time in the 90s, as late in the game as it is, people still raised an eyebrow for anyone taking what is considered to be, you know, a queer role. So I will tip my hat to them about that. Like, that was really cool that they, you know, they took a risk like that. And as far as it goes, I mean, my mind changes drastically on who really shines where. I think a lot of people kind of get charmed by John Leguizamo's character because he's probably the most palatable drag queen to the eye, the prettiest one. But girl, Wesley Snipes eats that role. As Noxzema Jackson, where is the appreciation for Wesley Snipes? Because he's the most like a drag queen you actually know. Yeah, for those of you who aren't in the know, are living under a rock and don't know what To Wong Foo is, To Wong Foo, Thanks for Everything, Julie Newmar is basically the story of 3 drag queens that go on a road trip and end up stranded in a small town, and through the magic of drag, perform makeovers that make everyone's life all better. That's basically the brief summary of it. It was very whimsical and very gay, and very instrumental in shaping me as a little gay boy growing up. And I wore out a VHS copy that we recorded off of HBO, which apparently, as anyone else's parents in the 90s did that, where they recorded movies off of HBO on VHS and just had like a closet full of VHS tapes with different movies on them that they had bootlegged from the TV. My family was real big on that. I don't think I ever saw a clear version of a movie until I was like old enough to buy them myself. But I digress. Priscilla, Queen of the Desert. Another movie that I was probably far too young to be watching with my mother on a Sunday morning, but here we are. That was about 3 drag queens in Australia. Well, 2 gay men and 1 transgender woman, to be specific. Gotta be specific. She was a trans woman that did drag. It was very ahead of its time and covered a lot of things that a lot of movies at the time didn't, especially To Wong Foo did not cover the stuff Priscilla did. It got into gay parenting, gay bashing. It was meant to be a serious film, whereas To Wong Foo was more of like a comedic romp. And they never really got into explaining to why all those characters were in drag the whole entire movie in To Wong Foo. You never got an explanation. There was never even like the smallest setup as to why they had to be in drag the whole film. So you're just kind of sitting there watching the movie like, yeah, but... Anyways, she's got to suspend disbelief. It's Hollywood, right? Priscilla was amazing. And it took me years to figure out that the woman in there that plays the guy's wife is actually the villain from Power Rangers, Rita Repulsa. Girl, when I found that out, my mind was blown. How I didn't recognize her as a little kid, I will never know. But she didn't have like the big, you know, bull horns on her head. And she was talking with her real voice, not an offensive English dub. Gonna set that with Soot Yourself, the black. I love it, no matter what, she always manages to include a black in her palettes. That's really, really handy. She knows, she knows. Girl, you need a black eyeshadow. You never know what you're gonna need it for, but you're gonna need it. Gorgeous. All right, let's do our lips. Now, I am gonna line my lips with MAC. She's doing like this round like lip with no arch. Kind of like I used to do this lip when I first started doing drag. Come on, 2013 me. I love it. It's very Betty Davis. I draw my lips upside down. All right, going in with Mad Maxine. Just gonna contour my lips a touch. This looks really cute. I don't know why I didn't start doing this before. It kind of reminds me of that cartoon character in the music video for Ode the Bouncer. She got those big old round lips. She got the big old round lips. Yeah, this lip contour is actually pretty sickening. I should have started doing this a long time ago. And I'm trying to like walk that fine line of like lip contour and not John Waters mustache. And I'm gonna stop before I get ahead of myself. There we go. Pretty, okay. Gotta highlight quick and then we gotta do some highlighter and we'll be done. Now it's time for highlighter. We are going in with, oh, that's pretty. Look at Kim. It's like looking into a mirror. This is pretty. Okay, let's do our blushes. All right, let's go nuts on the blush. I love blush. Let's do June. Oh, that is pretty. Okay. That's a really pretty blush. Oh my God. I'm actually obsessed with that. All right, and Sunkissed. Let's do the other side of the brush. Okay. Okay. Forgot what I was even talking about. Yeah, we were talking about To Wong Foo. And then you go into your modern gay movies like your Eating Out, not another gay movie. Eating Out is ignorant. I love it though. That Chris Salvatore guy follows me on Instagram and Twitter. I've never felt more sickening. And I have that Drama Queen song pop into my head every random moment in the day. I don't know any words to the lyrics, but I'm something like, Drama Queen. My life. Those are so pretty. Oh my God. I even finished the highlighters. Okay, so let's try one on each cheek. We have Afternoon Glisten. Oh, these are really stunning. Oh my God. Okay, and then we have Highest Point. That's pretty too. I like this one more, but this one is pretty. This one's a bit more subtle, if you're into that sort of thing. Okay, I think our look is just about done. I just gotta put eyelashes on and I will be right back.
Welcome back. This is the final result. Oh my God, I love it. I swear it's like I dreamt it up myself with no help whatsoever. Just kidding, oh my gosh. I think it's a gorgeous rendition of the Kim Chi makeup from the artwork. And to say it's a really cute collection. I really enjoyed this highlighter palette, girl. And the blushes, oh my God, these blushes are like a new installment of my makeup routine. Oh my God. There's a piece of hair in my eyelash. The Kim Chi Chic, what the hell is this collection called? The Kim Chi Chic Naomi Smalls collection. 2 Queens, 1 Desert is Jaymes Mansfield approved. I know, that is a very, very important seal of approval to have. The tightest seal. Now this look is fabulous, but it is just missing one more thing. The Jaymes Mansfield Magical Wig Spray from Black Phoenix Alchemy Lab. Let's just give this look a spritz. Ah, Now my look smells just like cream soda. Available at blackphoenixacmelab.com. And grooming can be an absolute drag. Thankfully, I have Manscaped. Use my code Jaymes20 or Mansfield for 20% off your purchase plus free shipping. It's for your no-no bits. And this look is oh my God, I'm missing something. I'm missing bronzer. Thankfully, I have Gerard Cosmetics. Use my code Jaymes for 30% off your purchase at gerardcosmetics.com. On regular priced items, just get a little bit of that. And, oh, good thing there's a mirror. Oh, perfection. Gerard. Now, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And until next time, bye. Click here and watch me transform a wig from Jaymes Mansfield Beauty into Jenny from Blackpink. Or see me transform a wig from Daiso. Come on, click it. You know you want to. If you don't click it, I'll trap you in a modern farmhouse with Kevin Bacon and force you to live out your life's trauma. So click it.